New on Blu-ray from Arrow Video is the Sonny Chiba military action sci-fi drama GI Samurai from 1979. This is 139 minutes, but never feels that length. This movie moves right along. It is directed by Kôsei Saitô with Sonny Chiba, Jun Ito, and Moeko Ezawa. It is in Japanese mono, Japanese 4.0, and Japanese 5.1 with optional English subtitles. This was originally a Toho release, and boy, is this movie cool. I had seen this years ago. Some friends and I used to get together for Friday nights and we would watch old tapes or DVDs or bootlegs or downloads or whatever we could get our hands on, which is just stuff we hadn't seen before. And I don't remember anything about this. I certainly don't remember enjoying it like I did when I watched this. I highly recommend this movie. This apparently has been, it was based on a novel and it has been remade a couple of times, might have been even turned into a TV series. But I'm just going to talk about what I watched. It's the only one I've watched. It's the 1979 GI Samurai. So Sonny Chiba is the commander of a force of like weekend warriors, think National Guard, Army recruits, guys going on maneuvers who aren't like full-time military soldiers. And they have all this heavy equipment. They've got a tank, and they've got a helicopter, and they've got some kind of artillery, and they're just loaded up and ready to go, all live ammunition, to meet on this beach for a training exercise. Something happens with the alignment of the planets, and they find themselves zapped back in time about 400 years, back to the warring states period of Japan. Think Japanese equivalent of Civil War with samurais and warlords and guys on horseback and really elaborate armor and all kinds of arrows and swords and things like that. And these guys at first, I'm not going to tell you the whole story. These guys at first think, why is everybody dressed so funny? And then they realize where they are. And then it's how do they survive against, can modern military codes of honor and techniques and gear and artillery, will they wipe out a more ancient way of doing things? Is it even, or is it uneven, and in which direction? And I'm not going to tell you which way it goes. It's a fascinating movie. The amount of running time allows it to go in different directions and keep having these twists where a lot of character development. It's shockingly violent at times, very brutal. There are eruptions of violence, and anyone can die at any time, which I believe is one of Sam Raimi's prime rules of a good horror movie. The screen must run red with blood, and anyone can die at any time. And this is true. Very good action between modern, like I say, from the modern military action point of view, it's very good there. But also when you're talking about swordplay and arrows and things like that. And it's just really interesting to see where these characters go. How do these characters cope with, I'm now living, maybe never escaping, a world where morals are very different. And if I choose to cast off the way I've been raised and the way the military taught me, I can really take as much as I want in many, many senses of that phrase. So really interesting. Sometimes the movie gets really dark, which you don't expect because it has a relatively light tone for a lot of it, but it takes these hard turns where you're like, wow. So I really, really enjoyed this. It makes me curious about seeing the newer incarnations, but it also makes me feel like they're just going to be too slick and I'm probably not going to like them. But I know that they exist out there and they do make reference to those in the extras here. So occasionally there are some odd scoring choices where the music feels a little too jaunty and maybe a decade or two out of place. Like this is 1979 and some of this music feels like it's from a much happier movie in the 50s, which is a little weird. There's a surprising number of heartfelt songs and montages on this soundtrack that if you can place your mind into a different time and place, work pretty well. I know a lot of people will just laugh at them because they can't handle anything that's not like things are right now, but they kind of worked for me. They added to the melodrama of the characters and what was going on. It was reminiscent to me of The Final Countdown, if you've ever seen that, and a movie I love called Time Rider. It kind of made me think of those crossed with like a weird war comic book. Wrestles with like, well, I already talked about that. Sorry, reading my notes over there. It's really, really good. You got to take my word for this. Special features. There is the uncut version of the film, English dubbed with alternate title Time Slip. So you can watch an English dubbed version of the entire film with just a different title cut into it. I chose to watch the Japanese language version of this. There's a commentary by Sam Deegan and Tom Mess, which is very good. Critical appreciations. The Good Fight, New Appreciation by film historian Mark Schilling is 22 minutes. Acting in Self-Defense, New Appreciation by Mark Alt, author of Pure Invention, How Japan's Pop Culture Conquered the World, which is 18 minutes. Back in Time, new discussion with film critics Masake Tamura and Tatsuya Masuto is just 26 minutes, which is very interesting. Although one of the men, the elder of the two, you can hear, I wish whoever cut this dropped out one of the microphones or had the ability to do that, because you hear the man who's not talking going, a lot through this, which is distracting, a little bit weird, but really cool to hear what these two people had to say, because the man who was making those sounds was actually on the set most of the time and has some very interesting and candid observations about the making of the film. Archive interviews with the cast from 2005. Apparently this probably had a really good DVD edition in 2005. Sonny Chiba, 20 minutes. Isao Natsugai, 24 minutes. Going to mangle all the names as usual. Hiromitsu Suzuki and Monsieur Kamatsuyu, sorry, sir, 21 minutes. Jun Ito and Idao Karashi, 22 minutes. And E.G. Suzuki, 4 minutes. Very good-natured, very interesting, very heartfelt recollections from all these people about making the film. A trailer gallery where you get the teaser trailer that's 42 seconds, the theatrical trailer that's 3.5 minutes, and the English export trailer that's 3.5 minutes, which is pretty identical to the theatrical Japanese trailer. And you get an image gallery that is 35 images. So this is really good. This is the kind of movie that I'm surprised hasn't been remade here at some point. And as I think somebody says on one of the commentaries, this would play really well. And the movie actually even feels like you're watching a series, where every once in a while there's sort of like an act break. They don't show that visually, but just story-wise, there's sort of like a pause, and then we continue for the next bit of this adventure. Very cool movie. Arrow Video on Blu-ray, GI Samurai.